and salutations, and welcome back to the Eclectic Collection. Today is episode 129, Leaving Blanks. So, yeah, leaving blanks. I've been an educator a long time, and there's something I never understood, and that's leaving blanks. I just can't stand it when kids do that, and when adults do it, it's even worse. Leaving blanks has such the metaphorical and also the literal meaning behind it. On a test, for example, I give a matching quiz, and so many kids left at least one, if not two, blanks, which I don't get because it's matching. So there's definitely another side to put. So even if you guess, what is it that Wayne Gretzky said? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So in those kind of situations, even if you're wrong, you still had like a 50-50 chance because there was still something left. And, in a pure blank, when you have to fill in the answer, I can understand how that's a little more daunting. But, again, take a shot. Even if you put down Mary Had a Little Lamb, okay, maybe it's wrong, but at least you filled something in. Like, you never know. In 8th grade, I had a sewing class. Wasn't happy about it. They forced it on us. But, whatever. Typing, totally got it, respected, use it all the time. Sewing, not that it's not a great skill, it just wasn't a skill for me. So, it forced us into the sewing class. And at the end, although we had to make 2 garments, which I did successfully, I might add, and that was okay, and they didn't fall apart by some miracle. At the very end, there was a small paper test, and it was maybe, I don't know, not even 20 questions. But a lot of the questions were things that we never discussed because it was a hands-on class. So I didn't know the names of popular pattern makers and things like that. And this woman that taught the class assumed that everybody knew that because she was a wonderful seamstress. Now, there were things like, darning is another way to say sewing, and a bobbin and a seam cutter and things like that I could do that were the physical things that we were taught that I knew the definitions for. But some of the other things I had no idea. Matter of fact, one of the answers I'll never forget was serendipity, and I had no clue. And that was the name of some pattern company. So it was done in a crossword style paper, and I guess she thought it'd be quick and fun. Well, we all failed it. But what I did at the bottom, there was some white space. And I just started writing every single thing that I knew and every fact that she taught me and things that I did remember. And I ended up getting like a 93 on it because although I didn't know some of the main points that she wanted, she took into account that I showcased what I did know. And the other people in the class, some people did what I did, but very few, and most just straight up failed it. So I remember thinking it pays to showcase what you know, even if you don't know what necessarily that one little piece that you need to know. Because a lot of times in school, you get that blank killed blank in the battle of blank, and you're, you're trying to, take care of filling in the blanks like to an extreme notion, and that's not what you want to do. You want to be able to know what you're talking about. Make matters more interesting. As you become an adult, it might not be the test like that, but it might be a more important test. It might be a test of your character. It might be a test of you have to endure something that you really, can't stand or don't want to do, or just unhappy things that come your way that you don't have a choice, or could be a medical thing, or could be whatever. And a lot of times, we just sort of walk by and we get in this mindless automaton state when a bad thing happens, and we sort of don't fill in the blanks. Like there's times when you could ask for help and you don't, or you could seek a little bit of assistance and you don't, or you think, oh, somebody else needs it more than me, or whatever it may be. And a lot of times, if you don't ask, you just don't get the information. And sometimes that information can be wildly valuable to whatever it is. So, I would say don't leave blanks. Always have the wherewithal to go seek and, understand what else is going on, because sometimes in what's happening, you just don't, you go through the motions and you figure, it's just what it's supposed to be, and blah, blah, and you sort of accept it. Don't necessarily do that. I mean, sometimes, you are stuck, and I'm sorry when that happens, but it is never going to hurt to get education. It shouldn't. It's never going to hurt to ask for more information, to ask for help. And a wise man knows when to ask for help. I was always taught that. I believe that, and I stand by that. You can't go through this world alone, and you definitely shouldn't. But whether it's for, fun and grins and giggles, or it's just absolute support in a bad situation, or whatever it is, don't leave blanks. Don't, just try and figure out whatever alone. If you get stuck, ask for help, phone a friend. Think of it like all those shows, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and whatnot. Is that your final answer? Go try and do that. I mean, I know just from trying to help out with my mom and dad, the older that they got, I couldn't even figure out half of the Medicare stuff. And I'm thinking, if you're older and have any kind of condition or problem, you could absolutely not do that alone. I mean, it took like my entire family to put that stuff together. That's just one example. I mean, healthcare, education, FAFSA forms, oh my God. Any kind of thing that's just annoying and critical, don't do it alone. Have another set of eyes, double check it. When I wrote my books, I had friends of mine, I was like, hey, would you mind reading this? Give it an edit. Let me know what you think, but, hey, did I miss commas, things like that. Whatever it is that you do, or whatever situation is presented to you, don't leave blanks. Seek help and try. Make the phone call, see if there's another an alternative, and pull Dr. Strange and check out the time stone, and see what you can do and how it plays out in other scenarios. Because you'd be surprised it can actually help you. So that's what I got to say about that. And if you like what you heard today, then check us out at eclecticcollectionpodcast.com or your preferred platform. I am Terry Tenaglia. Thanks for listening.